Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Levi. This is For the People, By the People podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Please give a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment under iTunes. Today I'm talking with my good friend Robert Sumner. He and I go way back. He's a full-time tour manager. He tours with top artists of all genres. Join us as we talk about the raw truths of the tour life. Today I'm joined by Robert Sumner, a.k.a. Bobby Swole, a.k.a. Forever Crossing the Line. Thank you for joining me today. What are you up to on this beautiful morning?
I am standing in my garage with my motorcycles.
Let's delve into those motorcycles of yours, your children.
My children. I have two Harley Davidsons, a 2011 Street Glide and a 2018 Softail.
And you are into customizing your bikes, right?
The customized, my friend.
They are so beautiful. I follow them on Instagram. And you should make an Instagram page just for them.
You know, that's actually a really good idea.
I'm serious. I would follow that page religiously.
I think that's an excellent idea, but I post plenty from my personal page.
True. You are a full-time tour manager. That's what this podcast is about. I've known you for a long time. You and I met through social media, and this podcast is dedicated to you talking about your days on the road. First question to you is, how did you even get into this job?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't plan it. I didn't think it through. I didn't go to a school for tour managing. I didn't grow up thinking I'm going to go be a tour manager. I had no idea what one was, honestly, for a very long time. Going to metal and hardcore and punk shows growing up through my teenage years and late teens and early 20s. I thought it was so cool, all the guys in the bands and the road crews. I was super inspired and influenced by all of that. Eventually, I made friends with one of a band's merch guy. They came through town every couple months, and I was like 17, 18, 19. He joined a band called For the Fallen Dreams. I think I was 20. I'll be 34 this year. They needed a merch guy. I had no clue about anything. I was 20 years old, living on my own. I was working street construction for the state at the time, and I was laid off during the winter. And this was like one of the winter months, and I was getting unemployment because we were, laid off for 2-3 months. He's like, it pays $5. And I was like, I don't care what it pays. Like, I got income.
It pays $5. What do you mean? The tour?
It paid $5 a day. My first tour, I got paid $5 a day.
$5 a day, wow.
And I slept on the floor of a van and at people's houses. And I did it, and it was awesome. And I had a blast, and I didn't know anything about anything. We just ran around the country acting like complete idiots, and it was amazing.
So if you've been touring for 14 years, you have countless tours under your belt. So what genres have you, toured with?
I think at this point I've probably worked with every genre. Metal, rap, country. I just got off a rock tour with one of the guys from Sick Puppies. That was very interesting.
Right.
I do Coachella and Stagecoach every year, which I'm about to head out to that.
Yeah, man, you've definitely been around the block on every genre. That's pretty rad. Do you have any memorable memories from your tours? What's one of your funnest memories on tour?
There's a lot. I have gone a lot of cool places. I've done 2 tours in Australia. That was awesome. 09 and 10. I did 2 tours there. Probably my first bus tour was a bucket list for me.
Right.
I did van and trailer tours for 4, 5, 6 years.
Was that life-changing, switching over from the van life to the bus life? Because it's you're going from Motel A to the Hilton, right? Is that how it is?
You're going from no motel, sleeping on a van floor, to the DoubleTree, where they have warm cookies and nice beds.
Oh, nice. And delicious coffee, right?
Oh, yeah, you already know.
I saw your coffee pack, by the way, your coffee tour pack.
Yeah, so I got my Pelican. I've got a touring French press and a mini water boiler and a mini coffee grind. My little touring coffee rig I take with me everywhere. I wanted to touch on one more memory that
Go ahead.
I thought was really, really cool, and I'll remember forever. I was working for Yellow Wolf, who is on Shady Records, Eminem's label, and we had a show with Marshall in New York City. I was up there just checking the levels on a microphone, and I looked down and I realized I was standing on Eminem's set list.
Dude.
And I really, really carefully picked up my left foot, and there's my name is and that's a moment I'll never forget when I was actually accidentally stood on Marshall's set list, and I was like, this is really, really cool. I don't really get starstruck. That's just not my personality or me.
Right.
But that was a moment that I was like, okay, this is fucking awesome.
Dude, that is awesome because it's like you were saying when we first opened this, it's like you didn't go to college, for this career or anything.
Heck
You
no.
just kind of you paid your dues, you got into it. And I mean,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just beginning in a sense. I mean, you
Yes.
started from sleeping in a van on the floor in a parking lot. Now you're
Yeah.
touring with big bands like Yellow Wolf, and you have a tour coming up. I don't know if I can say it yet.
Oh, yeah. It's been released. Yeah.
Oh, it has? Okay, yeah. And
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
said
yeah.
you're going on tour with ICP, and it's just so cool. A lot of people, I've even met people who have come to me and they're like, man, how do you know who you know and all this stuff? I'm like, well, it's not like I'm asking to meet these people. It's just all organically happens.
Yeah.
So, but that's a great memory though. So are tours hard? Like, are they mentally exhausting, physically exhausting, or does it just really depend on the artist you're touring with?
Yeah, both are factors. I hear a lot of things like, wow, you're so lucky. I mean, it's so cool to travel around. And it is from the person's perspective that's telling me that works a 9 to 5 in one city every day.
Right.
That is really cool. But from my perspective, it's mentally exhausting. I couldn't tell you how many birthdays I've missed, how many holidays I've missed, how many weddings I've missed.
Right.
I can't tell you how many failed relationships I've had because of my career and the travel strains. And I'm home 2018. I think I was home 4 months. So people see me like standing on a stage and like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And I'm friends with this band that they like. And it's like, wow, so-and-so, ABC, XYZ, and to me, it's like, I see all the sacrifice, which,
Right.
I'm very fortunate and I don't take it for granted, but at the same time, like, it's hard fucking work, man.
Right.
It's hard work, and anybody that works in this industry would 100% tell you the same thing. Like, it's not this glorious party lifestyle. It's like, bro, I sleep all night because I work all day.
Right.
My days are like 16 plus hours.
While on tour, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on the job, it's always different. And it's not like I'm running in circles for 16 hours straight, but being a tour manager is a 24/7 job. My artist calls me at all hours of the day, and, I need to be prepared for everything. Like the bus is driving at night. I need to make sure the bus driver has money for gas and knows where he's going and knows where he's parking. It's like it's 24/7.
So it's never ending. Yeah, it's never ending. And I mean, it's fun to hear your side because I've known you for so long, but we've never really talked the details of the touring side. Like you were saying, the bus driver, you have to give him, make sure he has gas money, make sure he knows where he's going. And you're an intimidating looking person, but when you get to know you, obviously you're a great person. But I know you have done security. So are you also maintaining like major awareness on these tours? Because I've heard a lot about like pirating on the road, people getting robbed. So is that another thing you're like always looking over your back in a sense because you're managing the tour?
Being a tour manager and I do some stage managing stuff as well. You're in charge of everything. You're like the general manager of the store. You need to make sure that store is locked up at the end of the night and safe. You need to make sure if there's a security system installed, and you need to make sure there's no sketchy people in and out. So for how does that translate to the music industry is if I'm stage managing, I'm overseeing the security in the pit. I'm overseeing the access control to make sure there's no ding dongs coming backstage. The venue security doesn't work for me, but I need to make sure they're doing their job so my artist is safe. I need to make sure the bus is parked in a safe location, so we're not getting robbed, so my artist is safe. Like, I'm constantly aware of my surroundings. I observe everybody in a restaurant when I walk into a building, when I walk into a room. I observe everything and everyone and their manners and how they act and their reactions and, how they're dressed, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's why top artists pick you in a sense because, you can't teach this in a sense. It's just natural, it's nature. Yeah. You're just doing this out of a natural response. I mean, I could imagine artists, they want to be able to trust someone, and to find someone like you is, you know what I mean? It's a great thing. And I know something that you and I share in common is being straight edge, living that straight edge lifestyle. So I can imagine being on tour, you see partying, you see a bunch of stuff. Would you say your straight edge lifestyle keeps you even way more aware?
So being straight edge is definitely, I think it's added to the positive category in my life and being why people want to hire me. Because I am always sober-minded. Being sober, always being aware there's there's that added sense of security for the artist and management at the end of the day that, they know that the money's going to be right. Everyone's going to get on the bus and get to where they need to go and everything's going to be taken care of. For me, that's my perspective. And that's how I live my life.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a positive being sober minded. Like you were saying, I mean, even for myself and for my job and everything, just being sober minded, it allows me to be aware and on top of my game fully. So what are your goals for like your tours and your career? Is this something you want to do for the long term? Has any other opportunities opened up, or have you missed opportunities?
I love my career. I plan on doing it for a very long time. Many moons ago, I made some mistakes that I do regret. I don't have too many regrets, but these are one of them, and it landed me with some felonies. And that's really held me back in my career as far as not being able to tour to certain countries. I've kind of hit a cap in my career where anyone that is bigger, larger than whom I currently work for or am associated with is going to want to hire somebody that can be international.
Okay.
And I've kind of bumped into this cap because I can't go to UK, Canada, Australia. They're all hard-nosed. There's a couple other ones in there. But I've missed many tour opportunities because of this. And one in particular, probably one of the biggest opportunities in my career I've had so far, I got denied the job last fall because I cannot go into Canada. It was a company called Pyrotech. They do special effects and pyro for any top 40 act. Metallica, Bieber, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift. They're on every single one of their arena tours.
Oh, nice.
And I was very fortunate enough to one of my mentors had an in with that company. And I had a couple interviews, but not being able to go to Canada barred me from employment. And I understand their position, and I'm not mad. They didn't, I made these decisions that landed me here. I've hired a lawyer, and I can apply for my pardon in 2021, which I will. It's not a guaranteed that I'll get pardoned, but she thinks I have a good chance because of how much my felonies hold me back in my career.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would have never, known that if you hadn't told me. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, like you said, you're taking responsibility. No one's perfect, and you're taking the right steps in this process. It's just a waiting, you're learning things. In my opinion, you're learning great patience. So that's pretty awesome. Real. Thank you for taking the time, being on this podcast for the people, by the people.
Bless up.
And anyone that wants to follow Bobby here, his Instagram is Forever Crossing the Line. He posts some cool stuff about lifting, Harleys, tours. Give him a follow. We will talk soon.
Love you, buddy. Talk to you soon.